Barb.
Yes. Hello.
How did it start here?
Deloraine Deli started down the street, 2 doors up from the news agency. And the reason it was already open and it already had...
It was a little coffee shop.
Yeah, just a coffee shop. It was a little deli, had a little deli cabinet and all of that. And we both had jobs in Deloraine. We were both sharing 2 jobs. We were doing a lot of hours, and one of the businesses that we were working for was on the market. We knew that eventually that job would go, and the owners offered it to us to have a look at, to buy. And at the time we hadn't thought about that, but then at the same time the deli was on the market. So we had 2 businesses to compare. And in the end we chose the deli because it actually paid some money. There was obviously a profit there.
Also the other place, they were going to sell that building.
And
we didn't know.
That's right, there was no secure lease there.
So anyway, we bought this little coffee shop and bang, went from there.
What year was that?
1997, 1st of September 1997.
So we bought this the little coffee shop and it just took off, really. People wanted to...
We did a business plan and our first 3 weeks that just went out the door because the people just came in. So that was a bit of a shock because we only had 1 staff member apart from ourselves. So we were going home doing the accounts, going home cook a cake and then burn the cake because I'd fall asleep
burn
doing
the cake,
books,
feed it to the chooks the next day.
And then had no cake for tomorrow and that all...
So we had an empty cake cabinet all the time.
So we had to realise, okay, we're going to have to get some help here. So we did that. Boy, did we do that. Eventually we've got 21, we had up to 21 staff.
Eventually, but...
So it gradually took off and it's controlled us ever since, really. We've never been in control of it.
Yeah, but the locals used to... Then they wanted to come and have lattes out in the street like they did when they go to Melbourne or Sydney.
And we were the only business...
We were the only one that had
do that.
Table and chairs. We only had 2 or 3 at the time out the front on the footpath, and I was going up to the barbware store at the time and buying a couple of directors' chairs, buying a couple more and a table, fold-up table, and
a couple more,
and put it down, and someone else would walk past and go, "Oh, I wouldn't mind doing that, sitting out and having a coffee." So up I went, got another couple, and so it just boomed. It just took off.
And then it wasn't that long before a farmer backed over one of our tables, and I'm pretty sure that the council sort of thought, and there was a camber on the road and we were going down towards our window.
I don't think it had anything to do with him, Barbara.
Sorry?
I don't think it had anything to do with him.
No, it was because a couple of cars had smashed through our windows as well, that had run across the road. They'd been across the road, handbrakes went off and...
The road was much higher than the footpath.
Yes, because the camber...
And on the other side of the road to the old deli, you had to, if you got out of your car, you had to step up onto the footpath. And
so you got out of your car and your car is like that on the side of the road. So council did the streetscaping, and the architect came along and asked us what our requirements were so that we could have dining on the street, and they did that for a lot of other businesses that had started doing that as well. Then they'd started copying what we were doing.
But there were locals that said if the Deloraine Deli want a streetscape, they should pay for it themselves. That happened. And it was a council thing.
So they actually made proper spaces for us to put tables and chairs. So every day we took out all the tables and chairs, and every night we brought them all back in.
So that then became, then a lot of other businesses put their wares out in the street, their clothing racks and all sorts of stuff like that, and then other cafes put a table and chair out, and we actually did the dining policy for years, didn't we?
Yeah, they came to us to say, how much should we charge you? And we said, $1. $1. Because we're providing, people are in the community now, getting up and down the streets, buying things
to us. The council said, look, we need to do a dining policy. So what do? We need to have a fee, annual fee. And then Barb said whatever. And
it only needed to cover them for insurance, basically.
But from every year after that, or every couple of years, there'd be a new guy on council. They'd come, g'day guys, my name's so. I'm just revisiting the dining policy. So the annual fee, that should go up $50 or something. But no, we should keep it the same. Oh, okay. And the price and the cost of the tables?
And then it
No?
disappeared
Oh,
eventually.
the chain? Oh, okay.
Eventually we
so,
didn't ever have it, so it just
so
disappeared.
we did that for many years, and then when we moved up here, we weren't involved in the main street anymore because we didn't have tables and chairs there. So I don't know what the dining policy is down there.
But we did have the odd
It's very
complaint because we had so many customers that there'd be a particular thing on, and one man had to walk around the customer, so he put a complaint into council because he couldn't walk through the customers because they were all milling.
It was actually a funeral we were doing, a wake for someone that had passed away in the
And he
community.
was huffing and puffing because he had to walk around.
So we had it at the deli, and they were out on the street, a few people, and he wanted to go to the news agency to get a newspaper, and so that was very inconvenient of us, and he pushed his way right through as people were talking in the funeral.
Because he didn't want to be that inconvenienced that he had to walk around the people.
But those
So
sort
anyway.
of things. It took a long time for people to... I can remember people actually thinking, dining in the street, that's dirty and just...
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, dirty with car fumes and dirt and dust or whatever, but it's what they do all over the world. So, you know.
They do now. They did then.
Yeah, they did then.
So we used to have night events, so we used to do themed night events.
Okay.
You name the culture, we've probably done it, and we used to love doing the research for that, and we used to get dressed up, so we had lots of pictures of, we'd have belly dances, and it'd be exotic, and so that used to, and pack out, we never did less than packed out, so that was fun.
That was at the old deli, which
yeah.
didn't hold as much as up here does. But
No, but then along the way we ended up with a rather interesting landlord.
of a landlord, to be honest.
Yeah, that's being honest, yes.
You can print that if you like. I don't
He
care.
was a really unpredictable personality, and about 3 months before our lease was due, he swanned in to have a coffee and said, "I don't care whether you renew your lease or not." I thought, that's not the feeling. I don't know that I'm comfortable with that. And because you can just as easily say no, because he'd managed to manoeuvre every time we'd wanted a renewal, he wasn't available to sign. And so he had us in a pretty precarious position. We'd never been before, but we were then, and we were pretty worried about that. So we thought, okay, I think we've got to bite the bullet and buy something ourselves. This was empty at the time.
So we went to our accountant. The accountant said, he said, yep, you could do it, and the bank said, yes, we'll lend you the money. So
yeah,
so we bought this building.
so 17 years
We're
down
still
this-
buying
down
the
the street,
building.
and then so we moved in. We were working on it constantly, and we had the builders in and rejigged a whole new kitchen, did a big fit out, and we were trying to do that and this. We'd work down there during the day and up here at night. We were painting all hours of the day and night. We had every grandchild in that we could muster, and they all had their ponchos on, and they were all painting and helping us. We physically moved in 3 days. We went from Saturday at the old deli. We traded on the Saturday, and we opened here on the Wednesday. We did a catering in between, and we did coffees for ANZ on the Tuesday. So it was a really quick. So what we did was plonk that in this site, and we've been ever since rearranging it and getting it how we need it here. So
When was that? When did you move up?
2014.
2014.
Yeah, it was 1st of July, I think. No, 17th of July, I think it was. We moved.
I still get-
And Dilly moved into the space and made it ours and fitted it how we wanted it fitted out. So it took us a while to gradually get it as commercial as we wanted it.
I remember a few people, well, they still say, oh, when you moved from there up here, we thought, oh, you've done it. You know, they're not going to, that won't work. I did.
But the news agents still get inquiries to know where we've gone to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
And they're
from-
still sending people up to us.
From
Yeah.
interstate people and that sort of thing.
And
So-
we've had people say, I'm from Vancouver and I've been told I've got to come to Deloraine Deli.
That must
you
feel
know,
really nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah,
it
it
means,
has
that,
over the
means
years.
that someone enjoyed it enough that they've gone back to their own home country and said, if you're going to Tassie, you need to go there. So yes, it does. Yeah, and I guess that's what's kept us. That's driven us. That attitude has been what it's been like. Yeah.
Were you in hospitality before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd chalked up a few years, and Grant had been chefing in Melbourne. I'd been in
I
business
wasn't chefing.
cooking.
Yeah, but you don't need to write that I was a chef,
Ah, right.
actually.
Well, you were a commie chef, but anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, we both worked in hospitality for some years.
Yeah, so I'd
And
done
then-
a motel where we did breakfasts.
Yeah.
And also we'd both worked another couple of jobs. Well, we were doing two. I was doing lunch and dinner, and Grant was doing lunch and dinner. So yes, we'd done that for a long 12.
We
12 odd years.
bought the Deli. We needed to buy a job. We weren't earning very much money,
Yeah.
and working a lot of hours.
and
We need to be doing this for us, really.
so we
So we now
bought
still
a job.
don't earn any money, and we're still doing lots of hours.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. So yeah. Anyway, we've got to the point now. I think COVID changed it changed the platform basically, and for hospitality, I don't think it won't ever recover, in the sense that customers are now more insistent and not as forgiving. Or
Okay,
not.
so like the attitude has changed.
Yes,
Yeah.
the attitude of the
Yeah.
customers changed, and also staff are concerned about passing on illness and that sort of thing, more aware of it.
Yep.
So instead of just wearing a mask and coming for the day, they'll go, oh, I think I could be sick, I better not go to work. And so then you haven't got that consistency and not the drive, because people are more concerned with that than earning the money. That changed
And that's
significantly.
kind of happened
Yeah.
after COVID. Also, it knocked us around financially quite a lot. Took us a long time to
So
recover.
it took us back 6 years. Yeah.
But it also, I know, for instance, a lot of people that lived out of town, when COVID happened, they realised they can live at home for a lot longer. They don't have to come into Deloraine rather, every second day. They could survive without that. So there's a lot of, I guess
Changed
there's a
the
lot
pattern
of changes
of how
there. A
often
lot
people
of
came.
people who would come every second day and buy their
We still do
stuff.
have people come every day, but
yeah,
but overall it has
It has-
stretched it out a bit.
yeah.
So they will come, but not quite as consistently as
Yeah,
they
no,
ever
they'll
did before
come
COVID.
once a fortnight or once a month to
And I
do
think
their shopping or whatever.
The government was still advertising for people to go out and do stuff, and that made me think, their numbers right across the board are down still. They wouldn't be doing that otherwise. So we recognise, and when we've been on numerous boards, and I'd say, look, we've just had the worst hurrah, because we were getting these really obscure graphs with our figures, which we'd never had before. We always had a consistent flow. We knew exactly where we were every month of the year, and then we just get the biggest month we've ever had, followed by the worst month we've ever had. So it really changed. And I'd just mention that at tourism meeting, and they'd say, yep, across the state. Yeah.
So, and that was just, was there any explanation about why there was this?
It was
spike,
the
or
stay-at-home,
just consistent?
the stay-at-home
was,
philosophy,
okay.
And then people get sick of it, and then they all go out.
Okay.
So then they stay at home again, and it's a little bit like it now with the fuel crisis. That's really, we're noticing it.
Okay.
And I've mentioned it to the reps. They said dead everywhere. And this year, when daylight savings finished, or it was actually the 1st of spring, we got that really bad weather. It just dropped off the cliff. And normally you get that beautiful autumn weather, and we go on and on for a couple of good months of good trade, until the real bad weather hits. Even then, we can be packed out because people come out for soup and they want the warmth. And but so the face of it's changed quite a bit.
We've done it for a long time. It's now
29
time.
years,
Yes.
Yeah.
Work beforehand and whatnot. It's
Yes,
Yeah.
it's been a big career,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and it's been hugely rewarding. And I guess that's why we've never done anything else, because
Well,
it still is.
there's a lot of people that have grown up through
We've
in
got
the
the
deli.
grandkids coming.
We've got
Still got the grandkids coming.
a lot of
some families.
young people that came in when they were babies, and now they're coming in with their babies. So that's pretty good. We've got the 3 generations that come in now and sit around, and the grandma, mum, and the daughters and their granddaughters. So 4 generations, 3, 4, I don't know. And that's been pretty good in our community. We've been a big part of a lot of people's lives.
Yep.
And that,
I guess they felt it was a safe place to come. They could be comfortable. They could be treated like home, and that was what we trained our staff to
Yep.
treat people like they've come to your home.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned all the customers, but you said 21 staff. That would have been a big change as well over the years.
Absolutely, yes. Grant always manages front of house. I've always managed back of house. We don't cross over too much. He knows about the customers, I know about the staff. And we've had some fantastic staff. We've had staff that have come to us after school, finished grade 10, gone to uni, come back, gone to uni, come back, gone overseas, come back. So we've had quite a lot of that. And we have at the moment, we've still got one that's just doing a master's now, working for us at the same time. Then she's going off to overseas, and
Does it mean as a credit to your business that people want to keep coming back?
Yes.
As staff?
And as
customers, yeah.
Yep.
And also staff.
Yes.
I think that's
Well, they've been,
Well, had some staff that have been with us for absolute years.
yep.
Really.
Yeah, and it's just like a big family.
Long
really.
time.
Yeah, we know all about them. They all know about us.
yeah.
In fact, if there's anything we don't want them to know, it's very hard to keep it like that. They just know everything. So yeah, and they know how the business runs. They know what the customers, and some
Well,
of the customers now, I have to go and say, "What's that customer's name?" Because they know their name, and I don't know their name. So yeah, that's. And if we can't think of a customer's name, if we've got a new staff member, we say to them, "Can you go and introduce yourself and find out their name?" And we used to have this list on the fridge of all the people's names. It comes on there. We used to have this big list because we wanted to remember their name. That was pretty important.
Yes.
And for the staff to feel comfortable, that was really important too, for them to know. And it was interesting because we'd have a turnover over summer of uni kids that were going back to school. So we had this young kid, and he was just a real lively character. And I thought, I don't know that he'll go. He won't last here long because it's all a bit of a game to him. He's not really taking it seriously. And I thought, okay, that's okay for the time it is. And then afterwards, one of the customers said to us, "Oh, where's such and such? He was such a lovely boy to us, such a lovely staff member to us." So even though he was a bit blasé and all over the shop, he made a connection with the customers, and they loved him.
Yeah.
So you never know what you've got. Yeah, so that was really interesting because he was a lovely kid. But yeah, it was. And he had other things on the go. I knew that he wouldn't be with us for long, but he filled the void, and we both got something out of it. So yeah.
Yeah, win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh dear. All right. How has the town changed over the years?
It's a bit sad for us seeing now every town you go to has got a tat parlour, nails, hair. They always had hair, lots of hair. We used to have 3 hairdressers, I think, 3 solid hairdressers. Now nails and tats and smokes, every town you go to now, they are the most prominent businesses. Which in the past, you wouldn't have a tattoo parlour in Deloraine. Now we do. Yeah, so that's changed. And I noticed that you go to Latrobe, you go to Sheffield, they've all got a tat parlour. Yep, all those places.
They're just more profitable, do you think? Or?
No, it's just that's what's popular now. You've
Well,
got to have your nails done, and you've got to have your
a lot
tats
of
done.
our younger staff, that's what they work for, get their nails done, and they're a new tat, and that's what they're about these days.
Yep.
And eyelashes.
And that
that's
used
a
to
good
be in our
idea.
training manual because your nails needed to be short, clean, and no polish, no chip polish or anything like that, and certainly no tattoos on display.
Yeah.
You could have them, but not.
At one
That's
stage,
just gone out the window.
one stage I remember.
Because now I wouldn't have a staff member. that didn't
Yeah,
have their nails
I
all
remember at
tats
one stage we had someone working for us, and we actually had to get them to remove some of the
Hardware.
piercings they had, and we thought, just take a few out because there's a lot of older ladies that older people might think, oh, I don't like him, and I'll pinch my hand back or something. I don't know. But these days, look, we wouldn't even have a clue where they're.
It's a weekly event to find out who's getting a tat
piercing,
this week. Pretty much. Oh dear.
I don't know what's changed. We've been involved in a lot of stuff in the town. Like we were on various boards with the community bank. We were on that
we had
for
a business
a long
group
time.
for lots
And
of
a
years.
business,
And we were also on
like
the we helped
commerce group.
Bendigo establish. We were founding members of Bendigo Bank because we figured
and tourism
we had
boards,
people
that
wanting.
sort of thing.
We'd be donating money every week to somebody, and then they'd say, "Oh, can you do this for a stall we're having?" And I'm thinking, "But you're going to earn $20 at the stall. It's not going to earn you anything." And then someone brought up about the banking model, and I was going, "Tick, banks make money. How do you get it into the?" And we had a look at the model, along with another group of people, and we all thought, "This is pretty good." I think this is where we need to put our energy.
Half the profits would go back into the community. So
we
we
really
pushed for it for a long time.
So we had
but
the meetings at the deli for
it took
many years.
took us a long time to get the
it up
door
and
open,
going.
but
As long as it's existed, it took us just about to get
Yeah,
it going
yeah.
from the original concept. But we left the board once we'd turned a profit, because we thought our job is done now. That's exactly what we wanted to happen, and now it's turned over $1 million.
Incredible what they've
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, and that's consistent money too. It's not, oh, there might be some money this year. There's money there every year. So I think that's changed.
And it helped
that's really
people
good.
it helped people like the council and Rotary to put in as well. If there was a project, the Bendigo said, "We'll put this much in," and council say, "We'll match that with this much." Or
Yeah, so it has
whatever.
really, I think that's really enriched the community.
yeah,
They've got things like the showground now. It's got big buildings out there that they can use for all sorts of things, and that money's come from the bank.
yeah, just a lot of improvements.
And that's
like
only a
it.
small. There's all sorts of things that have happened because of that.
Yeah.
What else has happened? Many businesses have come and gone, but Deloraine's held its own reasonably well. There's not many vacant shops around. Mostly I guess now there's a bit more people aren't there as long. They're quicker turnover.
You mean in terms of shop staying in
Yes.
the
Yeah.
same location?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And the food trucks are a new concept that one existed years ago when we used to have great day outs. There was one that would come and go, but now they're everywhere. Now they're in your peripheral all the time. So that's changed.
Which is okay.
Oh, it's good.
It
And
gives
council-
variety to the
Council
people.
just treat them the same now as any other business.
Yeah.
And that gives a bit of variety that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So
Yeah.
what else has changed?
I'm just trying to think.
So we have two banks now, but we potentially were going to lose one. That's why we started up Bendigo. That's why we wanted Bendigo to happen.
Yeah.
And we ended up with three banks because the other bank didn't go. And then once Bendigo was up and going, there was the three, and then one did close its door. So we're very glad that because
Had
people
it
go do
open.
their banking in Launceston, they go to their
Well,
shopping
because we
in
would have
Launceston.
ended up with just the one, and
Yeah, and to have Service TAS still there and all that, we're pretty lucky, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty good community
not-
with doctors.
we're
all
not-
of that now. We're
it's-
pretty lucky.
it's-
Dentists.
yeah, it's not just about the town. It's more the whole area, the whole of Meander Valley. Our business has serviced a lot of. We used to do a lot of catering for Tasalks and a lot of. We still do a lot of catering all around the place. So
Yeah,
it's
that's another
it's
sort
a-
of arm of the business
yeah.
that's been ticking away behind the scenes.
Yeah, we
Not
do.
something we've ever pushed much. The other thing
Just
we're doing
comes to
now
us.
is we're doing deliveries every day.
To the
Businesses.
Yep.
community? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that
Yep.
just
Even-
in a car thing? Or
Oh, some we walk, some we walk to, and some we deliver in the car. Yeah.
Okay. So how does that work? Do they pull up and order? Or?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
And it could just be, and sometimes we'll be, we've got to go to the bank. We'll deliver that when we go to the bank. So we'll do well. So Grant goes out and does a loop back, and we've not ever pushed that. It's just organically grown, but it's consistent. So it's where people want to be now. They're a bit more inclined to eat their food in the car.
Yeah.
And want it delivered to them than to come
Yeah,
here.
eating and the hospitality has changed a lot. Like people just pull up in the car park here, and then they look us up to see what rating we have. And they go, oh, this place is all right.
Yeah.
So they come in. That wasn't the case before. You pulled in and thought, oh, this looks okay, and you went in. And so it's I don't know.
I think we're very lucky. We've got a rich, strong community.
Yeah.
Rich in choices, that sort of thing,
Culture.
culture, yeah.
Yeah.
And Deloraine's it's beautiful. We've got a little beautiful community.
And they've kept us going too. It's been
It's being recognised now. Whereas I guess when I grew up here, tourism wasn't even heard of or thought of, and you left
No,
town
that's
because
true.
if you didn't if you went on a farm or doing timber, there wasn't a whole lot else.
I can remember council actually. I remember talking to a lot of businesses in the main street, and also council about tourism being worth as much in our community as agriculture and forestry at the time. And some of the councils said, if you've got a bloody motel up the road or something, and I was trying to explain to them that the people come into this town and they ask me where the bank is, where can I get my hair done, where the chemist is, where can we buy groceries, where can we buy fishing gear, where can I get my push bike flat fixed, all that sort of thing. So trying to convince council that people come here they ask for all the businesses in the main street. So anyway, that took
That's
some
evolved
time.
now, though.
That
council
evolved.
They're convinced now.
They recognise that.
And they
yes.
built an
And now they know the
information
dollar
centre.
value as well. That
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a big change too, trying to get that recognised, that there are a lot of tourists coming through the town and spend money.
And the biggest question we're ever asked is, how do I get to Cradle Mountain from here?
Yeah.
That's not as much now, though, is it? Because now people got their GPSs,
Yeah.
but it used to be. Before, everybody had GPS or could look it up on their phone. It was the most asked question.
Tourists might be in their car with brochures of everything, but they still like to ask.
They like your opinion.
Businesses, they all like to say, so Cradle Mountain is up there, and they want to know in case you know that, oh look, a tree came down last night over a road, so you can't get through there, you have to take this route or that route, or go bypass, or the bridge got washed out. So although tourists have got all that information, they still like to ask, and they
still want to recommend it.
to know, and then find out, oh, so it only takes 15 minutes, oh good, or whatever. They love to ask it.
Replace that sort of information.
Yeah, it is actually,
It's personal.
Yeah.
Along with, they say, so what's the best thing on the menu? and the staff say, my favourite's my favourite.
I say, I don't eat the food, do you? No, but
Oh dear.
we've had a lot to do with tourism, with tourists and tourism. And I get a lot of people that live in this community now that say to me, oh, we only bought the house here because you guys were here and the mountain range, but they often do say, when we first came here looking for a place to live, you were the first place we went to. And so that's been, and then they travel around the state and they'd always come back this way. But because of the mountain range, I think it pulled a lot of people in.
This is a pretty unusual community, I think.
It's very diverse.
Yes, whereas a lot of towns don't have the diversity we do. So we've got a mixture of the arts culture, and that's now quite proud.
There's religions, there's also the alternative lifestyle. It might be self-sufficiency in different degrees. It might be just a couple of chooks and a sheep in the yard, but to a point of full-on
and now people with little kids,
orchards and things like that.
They're looking for that a bit more.
Yeah.
For that sort of lifestyle.
And artists and musicians, all that. I do know recently a few people, one fellow said to me, when you guys first set up down there, I didn't even know the fella, but he said it used to be when you opened your door, it balanced out the community, because it was very, as Barb said before, it was a bit for a while.
I grew up here and I was part of all that, but then I experienced other parts of the country, and then when I came back you thought, wow, this is good.
Because of that, it evened things out. But I've got to admit, I used to, in the early days down at the old Dell, I used to sit there at the counter and I'd look out and there'd be people like so-and-so from the Liberal Party. I would be sitting there having dinner with his wife or whoever. There'd be a logging family, mum and the daughter and kids sitting over there, an old lady sitting there, and little kid running around and wanting to know where the toilet was. We'd send them to our staff toilet, but there was this cross section of people, and there'd be Bob Brown sitting out the front or something, and a Labor politician.
We did get a complaint the day that the environmentalists came down out of the tree and all met at the deli. Now, we had nothing to do with it. We didn't know that's what they were going to do, but that's what they all said, we'll meet at the deli. And they all lobbed at the deli, and they were all over the street. There was media everywhere, and we got a complaint about those people on the street that day. But it just happened.
But the diversity was quite amazing. I'd say to Lynn, who works for us, I would say, look, he's a minister in the Liberal Party, and that's what's her name, and from the Labor Party, and they're green as, and they live up there in self-sufficient, and there's the logging family, and there's this incredible cross-section of people and diversity, and you'd see them get up.
You'd see it in the pubs. You'd see, if you went to this pub, you were of that genre. If you went to this pub, you focused on that, or the football club went to that pub, or they stuck to their own domain.
You got the mix.
Yeah.
We did, and that's what we wanted. We wanted the old little babies and the old ladies and a whole mix. And that's what I loved it for years, was this incredible mix. And people would get up off their table and walk out and go past the Labor Party fella and go, "Oh, g'day mate, how you doing?" Or Bob Brown even. They'd say, "G'day Bob," and they'd keep going up the street. Or it was something that politics seemed to disappear or something. It was still there in the background, and
but they felt comfortable enough to come and be there.
Well, like you talked about before, Barb, about a safe, nice,
yes,
like your home.
Yeah, yes. And it was too, because we're a bit of a safe house, but we weren't registered as a safe house or for kids, or wasn't written
a lot of
on
kids,
it.
a lot of parents would pick up their kids.
We'd get a phone
because
call.
The father would swap over the kids, the mother would pick up the kids.
Or we'd get phone
calls
saying, "Oh, Grant, I'm stuck in Launceston. I won't be able to get up there to pick up my daughter off the bus. And would you mind, sorry to do this?" And they'd have a hot chocolate or something, and I'll pay you when I go, and all that. I said, "Yeah, no drama." So I actually picked up kids off the bus. They had to make sure I was who I was. But the kids, I'd pick them up and bring them in, and Mum would finally turn up, or Dad, or
they'd play with the toys.
We give them a hot. So we were always. I remember one girl coming into our deli down the road, and Grandpa didn't pick her up or something, and so she could make a phone call at our place to ring. What's happening? Am I getting?
That was before mobile.
I did have 2 young kids in here once for many hours. Didn't know them; they were new in the community. And they were here for a while, and we packed up, and the girls had gone, and everyone had disappeared. And I stayed here. I thought, I'll mark some produce and put it out the shelves. And I spoke to them. I said, "So you okay?" Dad? "Oh yeah, Dad's picking us up." And I said, "Okay." And time went on, and I said, "Do you have?" "No, we don't know the phone number." And they had no idea how to contact any of the mother or father. And I said, "So where do you live?" And they lived up near Tony Snibert's area, on a farm there, but they hadn't been there long, and I think they were only staying there. So I thought, oh God, it's getting on a bit. I'm going to have to take them home, but that's going to be a bit difficult, because I'm going to put these kids are going to come in with a stranger, although I'm not a stranger, but to them I am, and take them home. I'll have to go in with them. I introduce myself to. Anyway, so they were there for quite a long time, and then finally Dad turned up. And they said, "Where have you been?" And I said, "Oh, sorry." And off they went. And he didn't say boo to me. And I'd been looking after him for a couple of hours by then. And then a couple of days later, the boy came in with a box of chocolates, and his mum, I think, and gave me a box of chocolates for looking after him. And it was years later, too, that I was somewhere up at Port Sorell or something, and this guy, the father, was actually working, a maintenance guy up at this place. And so and he said hi and all that. Yeah. But it was pretty interesting. We always felt we're safe, and people think but they knew that kids were going to be here, but someone told them that they'd be all right there, not to leave them for 2 hours, but that they'd be all right, they'd be safe there. And that was a good thing to have, that safety thing. And we've had a lot of generations growing up through the deli, and it's been a bit like a McDonald's or something. Often mums will come in with their kids and, "Now don't tell your sister or brother that we've dropped into the deli, all right?" Because they'd be at school or something. And
they'd race in on the death knock to get some chips. They have some bits.
Yeah, they got it. "Don't tell them we came here."
Where to from now?
God. Wallow in it, Barbara says.
Yeah, so we're not opening the curtains for a little while, and we're just going to do what we feel like for a little while, because it's a long time since we've done that. Even when we have a day off, you're still waiting for the phone call. You're still waiting to be needed to have to go somewhere or do something. Yeah. And often we've even been somewhere. We've gone down to our grandkids or something, and they'll say, "We're slammed, can you come and help?" "Oh no, sorry."
There's always been maintenance too, that they ring up, "Oh, Grant, there's a leak under the sink." And I have to come in and deal with that.
And
so probably,
even though we've set it all up, it's a big building. There's a lot of gear. Yeah. There's a lot of things that
can go
to
wrong.
Look after. Yes. Yeah. Grant usually does that after hours, because that's the only time you can do it when there's no customers around. So you do late nights, or sometimes you come in really early in the morning and get a job done, or we get a refrigeration guy in crack of dawn to come and fix something so that it's ready again for service. But we don't know. We don't know what we're going to do.
You know, and somebody,
I'm sure there's lots of things we want to do.
a lot of people say you'll love it, retirement. One person did say to me, he said, now, don't do anything for 6 months. Don't put your hand up for anything. Don't do anything. Just sit for 6 months and then decide what. Because I have had a few people say, oh, you could join this board and you could help us out here.
We've been committed to something for all this time.
Yeah,
so,
and
as well as this, often committees we were on. I'm sure I'll have to find something to keep my mind going, keep me stimulated. But I've got to catch up with family. I want to go and be able to see my family, and they're waiting for us to come and say, Nan, when you come here, we can do this. So we want to do that, and I've got other family. I've got sisters in Melbourne, and we don't mind a little trip to Dalesford, or to go and spend a few nights up there, or potter about, and not have to be, because every time we go to Melbourne to visit, we have to fit them in this day, them in that day, them in to get everybody in, and then back to work. So it'd be good to actually go and think, oh, I don't have to rush back. We can take our time.
I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of Tassie that I've not really seen much of because I've been too busy working ever since I got here.
Yeah, I'd like to do the ins and outs of a few little places. Yeah.
Yeah, and
we grow stuff. We love growing stuff. We want to get
Barbara does.
You do too.
Not anymore.
We've
got a lot of stuff to do at home to organise our garden.
We moved into the town a couple of years ago, but we haven't unpacked really. So we want, because you've got to have brain space to do all that, and we haven't really. But yeah, I want to get some fruit trees established, get some stuff established, and I love to go out and I made dinner out of the garden today. Yeah, that's a big thing for me. But I don't want to commit to get that too involved until we've had a break and been able to go where we want to go and then work on that.
We're going to miss a lot of people.
Absolutely.
We made a lot of friends
see them regularly.
Through the business.
They're friends because they're not just customers, they're friends. So we'll have to find a way to go and catch up with them. So yeah, that's important. Yeah. Yes. When we've had a little break from everybody. Yeah. Yes, that's right. It's not going to unravel tomorrow.
No.
There'll be lots of things to catch up on. And even now, there's people that I wish we could go and see, and when am I going to do that? If I go to Launceston, it's like race in, race back to work, race in, race back to work. So, so we'll be able to take our time to do things. So,
that'd be good.
Yeah. So
we think we don't know yet. It's all unknown, but that's okay.
I'll be able to cook things that I want, because that's what I thought I bought. Thought when we bought the deli, great. Now I can cook the things that inspire me, that I want to try, that I want to do this, I want to do that. We used to do that with the theme nights. That was a great thing because I could get right into the guts of this culture and produce this food as authentically as I can.
I did a lot of things like Indian or Moroccan or
Spanish
Greek.
I used to love it. And now I look at the recipe and I see something and I think, I really want to make that. I really want to figure that out. And I don't have time. So I still do occasionally. I'll trial a few recipes at home. If I've happened to have a Sunday off or something where I've got time, and then now we've got it on the menu. But because I just can't let alone until we've tried it and got it going. It's just ticking away there all the time. I should have done that with that recipe. We need to do it this way, and nut it out. So I still would like to do that. And I do want to do a bit of artwork at some point, and I'm not sure in what area yet, but that's something I've always had ticking away in the background. And music. Get back on the piano.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah.
Have your break.
Yes.
Work out what you want to do.
Yes.
And then you'll be...
Oh, that's what people have said to me. I've never been so busy in my life. And I think I don't want to get like that.
I think that just means it takes longer to do everything.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
But Grant's a collector. He's always been interested in collecting things. So we go somewhere.
I don't now. I don't have an income, Barbara, to
but
do that.
But you've always had a bit of if we go somewhere, I just want to check that antique shop out. It might have some of those things I'm collecting. So he's always got a little thing a little program going on. Or he might make something. He's a bit artistic at making stuff, and he'd be looking for something to make that work.
Just making all this rustic stuff here was what I did a lot of, certain things around here. But Yeah, it's all unknown, and it'll be okay.
Sleep. We want to sleep for a
Sleep.
bit. Yeah. If the phone rings, I might not answer it. I might go, I'll get to that later. Yeah, for a little while.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's, I don't know, I guess I've got a bit level of anxiety that I didn't used to have prior to COVID. That's been ticking away there since then. Because life's a bit more unknown, and that's never really fully recovered. Because people are more aware of what might happen, what could happen.
We still would like to see the place sold. We always thought that someone would come in one day and
Need to take it to the next
take
level
it,
now.
take it
Where it needs to go.
from where we left off, but that hasn't happened. There's great potential here. We've got a whole area out the back here, and we just don't have the energy.
Sharks are circling.
Yeah. We don't have the
waiting,
energy to
waiting
do
to
it
see if they're
ourselves.
waiting. So we don't know what will happen yet. And I think I need to have closed it so I can then focus on what happens next, because I'm busy in it all the time. You can't think as clearly about, okay, what can we do with it? We can sell it and do this. We can offer it to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're in it to
Yes.
think, because you're
Very
busy
hard to
doing
step
that.
back and
It
sort
is.
of from above.
Yeah.
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 Like those big decisions.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll get it on the market, and we'll get the building on the market. We've had the business on the market for a while, and see what happens. Yeah, someone will come along.
You'll know that soon-ish. Was it June?
June
July?
13th is our last day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the diary's starting to book up. There's quite a few people coming now in groups saying, can we come there? Yeah, so it's going to...
We've got to have a closing date. We can't keep going off into the winter and try and keep surviving and all that.
Well, having to push it that hard too.
Yeah.
Because the fuel crisis, they say, is now going to be worse, so it's still coming.
And food prices, that's all.
It's harder for people.
It's getting harder and harder for people.
And that's all good while you're fully inspired to drive it all.
But
But we're
eventually
tired.
too, that'll all
Tired of driving
start
it all.
affecting our prices and all that sort of stuff. And,
I don't want to have to drive it like that in.
we don't want to. Yeah, it becomes, people won't eat out as much for a while, I don't think, till this all blows over, till Trump destroys everyone.